Welcome to The Confident Networker with your host, Simone Douglas. In each insightful episode, she chats with one of the leading people from the BNI and business world.
Okay, so on today's episode of The Confident Networker, I am joined by the very charming Martin Roantree from Floors to Go. So Martin, perhaps can you just give us a little bit of an overview about your businesses, because you have a couple.
We've actually got three.
Huh?
So we've got Floors to Go, we've got Blinds to Go, and we have a non-for-profit called the 1836ers.
So that sounds fairly hectic.
Yeah.
It keeps you busy.
If you want a job doing, give it to a busy man.
Well, that's very true. So how long have you been in BNI for?
I joined in March 2020.
Mm-hmm. So a little
18
over
months.
a year. Yeah, that makes sense. What has been the most surprising thing for you?
Believe it or not, the most surprising thing is meeting other people from trades and professions that I wouldn't ordinarily come across and becoming very good friends with quite a lot of them.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
That's cool. Why is networking important to your business?
It helps us grow.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it properly, it can be very rewarding. You know, the BNI mantra is give us gain, and that's never been so apparent since I joined BNI. You know, it's been really good for us.
Yeah, fantastic. So when you're talking about growth, roughly what percentage of your business comes from BNI referrals?
It fluctuates a bit, but overall, probably about, I think it was 37% of our business, and we've got a massive turnover that's increasing year on year. It's been fantastic for us.
Who has been the person that has surprised you with the best referral?
Mark O'Gara really surprised me the other week.
Yeah, the painter, yeah.
He gave me a referral for a motel.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supplying 32 rooms of very expensive carpet and 32 rooms of very expensive curtains.
Oh, very nice.
And the people were that pleased that they paid us up front.
Wow.
That was a total of about $110,000.
That's
I've never had a job like that land in my lap. I always have to work for them.
Yeah.
As soon as I went there, I knew that they wanted to buy it off us because it'd give us such a good rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we looked after them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the beauty, though, often of BNI referrals is that it's not about price necessarily in the same way. You're not pitching against 3 or 4 different organisations.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. We don't go in there thinking, oh, we've got this.
Yeah.
We go in there to offer the same service that we offer to our other customers who come to the shop, and most of our business is based on referral anyway.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to a point where we're only open to appointment, and BNI is really helping us to push that forward.
Fantastic. What was the best support over the last 12 months? We've had COVID pandemics and things like this. You know, what is something that your BNI chapter members have done for you that has, you know...
Just knowing that you've got another network of 40-odd people that you can pick the phone up to. They've become friends as well as referral partners and business colleagues. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you sort of say anything to them.
Yeah.
Or ask their advice. You know, and that's been pretty good for us. And quite a few of the BNI members have become good friends with people within our business as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
You know, like, I'll give you, for instance, Maria Mignone. She comes into our shop. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her.
Yeah.
You know, it's like she's one of our work family.
Yeah, fantastic.
You know? And there's a few people in our chapter like that. And in other chapters.
Yeah, absolutely. So Martin is a member of BNI Elite, and they meet on Thursday mornings. Mm-hmm. But you raised the point about other chapters. So obviously BNI Adelaide North has 7 chapters and 185 members at the moment. So do you get work from other chapters as well?
Oh yeah, we get heaps of work from other chapters.
So how does that work?
Well, if I get invited along, I'll go, or I'll sub for somebody. Yeah. And if I like the feeling of the room, I'll go back. Mm-hmm. BNI Advantage, that meets on a Friday morning. That's a city in South. That's my BNI holiday home. I always like going there. And I like to take things away that I can give to our chapter as well, that they're doing differently.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you raise a really good point. So for that, BNI members out there, they there's nothing better than going and seeing how different chapters implement the BNI system, because there's always, like you said, there's those 1%ers and little tweaks that are different in every room because it has different people. So I know that you were a reluctant member in terms of the fact that you visited a lot.
Extremely reluctant.
Yeah, extremely reluctant. So can you just tell us a little bit about the story of visiting BNI?
When I moved to Australia in 2009, the guy that I worked for, Peter Kay, he was a BNI member, and he went away for 3 months and asked me to sub for him while he was away. And I was sort of a bit like a rabbit in headlights, thinking, what am I doing here? This isn't me. Yeah. And then I used to sub for him occasionally, and then I was a serial visitor for about 5 years thereafter. And Darren Maston, the electrician, and Mark O'Gara, the painter in our chapter, kept asking me to come along, and I'm like, it's not for me, not interested. I've been there and I've had a look at what's going on. I really don't want to engage in that. I haven't got time. Yeah. They weren't excuses, they were my reasons for not giving up a bit of time. A morning. Anyway, he finally wore me down at the beginning of last year, so I said, right, I'll come for a visit. And when I got there, I actually enjoyed it, because it felt different to all the other BNI meetings I'd been. There was a different feel in the room. Mm-hmm. So I said, right, I'll come back next week. So I went back the week after. And then I said to myself, right, I'm going to join for a year. Mm-hmm. My aim is to get my $1,600 membership fee back, and then I'm out. Done. So I did everything, joined. I didn't really engage with it for the first couple of months. And then I sat down and I thought to myself, what's it going to look like if I put some effort in? Yeah. That was about April, May last year. So I started making the effort, and the rewards started coming. Yeah. Not just monetary rewards, but personal relationship rewards with other people. Yeah. And it just grows and grows and grows every week. Now I can't wait to get out of bed on a Thursday morning to get to my meeting, and I was really sacked off the other week when we went on Zoom, because it's just not the same. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and I think too, thankfully we can go on Zoom if we have to. Yeah. We're in a lockdown, but I enjoy face-to-face. I'm very much a face-to-face person. But, another little known fact that I really do have to mention is that you finally made it to number 1 in the country as a member. So BNI Australia has over 6,500 members. Martin basically is the top referrer BNI member, doing one-to-ones, getting to know people. Was that easy? Yeah. To get to number 1? Yeah. How many months were you at number 2 before you got to number 1? 8. Yeah. And we had a few conversations where I was really annoyed. Yes. What do I have to do to get to number 1? It's not difficult. Yeah. The thing with me and my business is fair enough, we've got to earn a living, but we're not there for the money or self-interest. We like to help people. Yeah, absolutely. BNI gives us the opportunity to expand that. Yeah. And why wouldn't you if you can? Yeah, absolutely. But it wasn't difficult. People ask me all the time, how do you get so many visitors to come to the meeting? Like, tomorrow we've got 11. Nice. Just ask people. Yeah. Well, one of my other guests previously has talked about, it's not about them joining. It's about them coming to meet somebody else, or coming to a networking event. Yeah. I've started setting myself little targets for the BNI, and my big target is to get 10 people into BNI. I think 10 people. I think I'm on about 7 or 8 at the moment. But my next one, by the time I've been in for 2 years, I want to have had 100 visitors. Wow. And tomorrow we'll have, I think my number will be about 83. There you go. So you've not got far to go, really, based on 10 in a week. But the thing is, if you go to other chapters, you can pick up other people. I mean, like, I'll give you, for instance, I went to BNI Advantage a few months ago and I bumped into Charlotte Flouch, who was a visitor to Advantage.
Yeah.
And I got talking to her, I said, come and have a look at us. And when she came to us, she said, I like what I see here, and she joined.
Yeah.
You know? So there's always little ways of getting people to come, not necessarily to join, like you say.
What's the best piece of business advice you've been given by a member of your chapter?
Protect your margin.
Oh, that is a good piece of business advice.
Yeah.
Margin will make or break you pretty much in anything, I think.
I'm having difficulty with a member of staff who doesn't understand why margin is so important.
Yeah.
So the member who gave me that piece of advice is coming to speak to him on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
As a favour.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that raises another really good point, which is, the beauty of being a member of a chapter is having all of those diverse professions. But people will happily help you out. Like, I've always been amazed that, if you just ask, that they're happy to come and do things for you.
I've never been afraid to ask people for favours because the worst they can say is no.
Absolutely.
But if you dress it up the right way, you'll always get a yes.
Well, and I think, I'm a big believer in chasing 10 no's a day. So ask for exactly what you want or exactly what you need. And then from there, sometimes people say no, but like you said, more often than not, they say yes.
Yeah.
And then business gets easier, life gets easier. Who has gone out of their way for you in a way that you've really appreciated but surprised you?
Two people, without question, Loretta Cavallaro and Tim Scott.
Yeah.
I can't speak highly enough of them two people.
Yeah.
They're absolutely fantastic. And I feel very, and yourself as well, I feel very honoured and privileged to have them people in my life.
Yeah, they are good eggs.
They're brilliant.
Yeah, so for our listeners, Tim Scott owns Strider Digital, so he does all sorts of interesting things. Loretta owns Unify Property, amongst other things. So we've got investment property person, digital, and then we have Martin with his not-for-profit and...
Well, when we decided to do the non-for-profit, we got some legal advice as to what writing the Constitution consisted of. And it was probably a $30,000 exercise.
Wow.
And with Tim and a lady called Sheena Davidson, who's a good friend of mine, they wrote the Constitution for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we got the DGR status 2 weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations.
So
that's exciting.
That's my next time thief.
Yes, well.
Getting the money in for that. And
yeah.
what we're going to do with the 1836s is, do you want to know the reasons behind it?
Yeah, sure.
So we did a project for the Women's and Children's Hospital School where we refurbished the school in January last year. On the back of that, a family from Mitcham approached me. They have 2 children with muscular dystrophy. And they wanted to reshape the house, but they didn't know how to go about organising people to help them. So we got that project over the line. That was about a $50,000 project. Then we got them, we raised some money to put hydrotherapy pool in, but we kept going back asking the same favours of the same people. So I sat down with Tim and had a chat, and he said, why don't we start our own non-for-profit? Then we can raise the money for these projects where people are applying for funding through NDIS or Variety, and because of the application process and the amount of information that they need, it's taking too long.
Yeah.
So our Constitution says that our application process will only take 4 weeks, not a year. We're not actually going to hand checks out to people, but we're going to manage projects on their behalf. Yeah. So if it's an imminent need, like the hydrotherapy pool was a no-brainer, because them kids are only getting half an hour a week.
Yeah.
They get 2 hours a day.
Yeah, fantastic.
And it's increased the quality of life tremendously.
Yeah. So on the 1836, I suppose, if there was one person that you could have coffee with, and something, a good way to wrap it up, one person you could have coffee with that would help you take that upper level or take it to the next level, who do you need to have coffee with?
I'm sat next to her.
He sat next to me. Well, that was easy then.
Easy.
Easy peasy. Martin, thanks very much for joining us today. And for our listeners, if you want to come visit Martin, or if you want to come and visit BNI Elite, you'll find them on the BNI Adelaide North website. They meet on Thursday mornings. I'm sure Martin will be happy to host you as a visitor.
I'll pay for your breakfast.
Oh, well, there you go. That could get quite hectic. Martin, thanks again.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to The Confident Networker. You can find more episodes and information at bnian.com.au/podcast.